I am that I am, Saint Germain in service, and I welcome you all here this evening. I want to invite you all once again just to take a moment to really come to that still point within you. Know that this still point is always there. This still point is you. It's easy to forget in the chaotic world that you find yourself in. It's easy to get caught up in the drama spirals, the energy patterns, your own patterns, other people's patterns, the collective consciousness of the areas you find yourself in. So easy to get caught up in the energy patterns. But understand that when you come back to this stillness, and you can do this at any moment, all of a sudden, you rise above that energy pattern. That energy pattern cannot touch you. And so, like the eye in the center of a storm, all is peaceful, all is calm. Things may be whirling around you, but they're not touching you. In this still space, you are safe. You're always safe. It's the drama that the mind creates that makes you feel that you are not safe. Makes you feel attacked, makes you feel drained. But if you remember to come back to the stillness, you'll find that these things cannot touch you. Of course, when you are beings, as all of you are, whose energetic vibration is raising, you will find that the energies on this planet can be quite harsh at times. They can be quite dense. And even for the most enlightened master who finds themselves embodied on this planet, they too will feel the harshness and the denseness of this reality, because you must understand that this is not your natural state. To be encased in this body, to be in this dense physical reality is not your natural state. And the more that you come to awareness, the more that your vibration continues to increase, you're going to feel this. And particularly right now with the turbulence that is happening on a global level, time taken out to just be, to be quiet, is of great importance right now. And as you learn to connect to this quiet point, you'll find that you can carry this quiet point with you always. So even though you may be feeling turmoil around you, you may be feeling others trying to take your energy, people trying to pull you into their drama cycles, underlying all of that, you will feel the stillness. You can take this refuge wherever you go. And you can connect into that whenever you choose. I want to invite you all in the next month to turn your day-to-day activities into a living meditation. Now, to do this, one must be completely present in the moment. And when one finds themselves being caught up in their thoughts, just as you do in meditation, you bring yourself back to the stillness. But instead of sitting on a cushion somewhere with your eyes closed, I invite you to do this in all of your day-to-day activities. Just allow yourself to feel that stillness wherever you go. Because this is your anchor point in the turmoil that is going on around you. And it is amplifying at this point in time. And I know many of you have felt it the last 2 weeks. There is an intensity. And this is because the energy patterns on the planet are once again going through another vibrationary change. And so many people are having a hard time coping with this change. And it is causing them to act out because it's as if the noise on the outside has been turned up. And then the noise on the inside has also been turned up. And so people feel as if though they are drowning in their own noise. But dear ones, you asked for this, so that you could become made aware of what is going on. Now, it's important here, I do not want you all to process it. This is a kind of a hamster wheel that many of you have found yourselves upon, this idea of self-improvement, constant self-improvement. Constant processing. And I know I've spoken about this before, but I feel that this needs to be brought back into all of your awarenesses. Because when you get caught on the processing cycle, when you get caught on the self-improvement cycle, you forget to know and to see that you are perfect, just as you are. And no amount of processing will make you any more perfect. This is your time to rise above. You may be dealing with hurtful emotions or past experiences or even current experiences which do not agree with you. But I say to you, do not swim in it. It's unnecessary. Simply rise above it. You do not have to process something for it to heal. You must understand that ultimately there is no such thing as healing. It is already healed. And so in that way, bring that air of gentleness back to yourselves. Say to yourselves, I am not a project. I am. Remember that. I am not a project. I am. You are perfection. You are the all. You have everything within you, all of the potentials. All of the power for creation. Indeed, that is why you are here in this reality. You created it. So look ahead of yourselves and see every single moment as a point of creation. You are not stuck in your realities as you think you are, because at any given moment, You can change it. And I know many of you will get quite esoteric about this. And you'll go, okay, well, I'm going to say my affirmations and I'm going to think my positive thoughts and I'm going to manifest this thing. No. That is very old energy. It's very dense. It does not really work in the vibration now that the earth is sitting at. Perhaps in the past, yes, although it was a very clunky, very inefficient way of going about doing these things. You simply sit in stillness and allow it to flow to you. Having said that also, though, I want to empower the human side of you, because the human will go, well, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in this job, I'm stuck paying bills, I'm stuck in this relationship, I'm stuck surrounded by these people, I'm stuck in this town. The list is endless. But what the human fails to see is that in any given moment, they can make the choice to change. That choice is always there. You are never stuck. You can always make change. And you'll say to me, oh no, I can't do that because there's all these limitations on me. No. When you make the decision to change, when you make that first step, then the energy is going to flow in. It will. At any given moment. Humans get very set in their ways. They get very set in tracks. Well, I spent this long studying something, or I've spent this long in the industry, or this is the way I've always done things. I can't change now. Of course you can. So many of you make yourselves miserable because you stay in old patterns just because that's what you've done for a very long time, or that's what you've thrown all your energy into for quite some time. And it's irrelevant. What is relevant is what is happening in the now moment. What is happening right now? And I don't mean when I say right now, many of your thoughts go to your life situation. And you must understand that there is a skew in the way that you all view your life situations, because you view them from the memories and the input of your mind. I want to bring you back right here now. What is happening right here and now? You're sitting in a room. You're listening. There's traffic in the background. There's crickets. You're breathing. That is your now situation. Not the concept your mind has built up about where you are at now. So I want you to remember this in every aspect of your day-to-day activity. When your head starts to get involved, when it starts to chatter, I don't want to be here, this person's annoying me, doesn't really matter what it is. Really come to the now and ask yourself, is this what is happening, or is this just my mind getting involved? What is happening right now? Is anything bad happening in this now moment? Or is my mind telling me that something bad is happening in this now moment? There's a big distinction. And you'll actually find that the more and more you can connect to the now moment, you'll realize that the moments of drama are actually quite few and far in between. Your mind is creating the drama. Something might have happened 5 minutes ago, but it's not happening now. So why are you still carrying it? It's time to really let go. That is where you will find yourself. You bring yourself back to that stillness and that peace. Each moment, viewing it for what it is, not for how the mind is filtering it. That is what causes the drama. Many of you'll find that when you become skilled at this, even if you find yourself in a situation that is filled with drama or you would prefer not to be in, that peace, that stillness is still there. And you'll also notice how much the mind will amplify any given situation if you let it. Now, I'm not saying control the mind, and I say this quite often. Let the mind be the mind, let it run. Let it do its thing. But you can be the witness behind the mind. So in that chaotic situation, you connect to your stillness and you observe your thoughts and you observe what is going on around you, but you do so without the filter. You just take it exactly as it is. You'll find that it will not have the same impact upon you as if when you allow your mind to enter you into that drama. I'm really encouraging all of you this next month to really bring yourself back to the now moment. You'll find a much greater stillness. And you'll also find that things will flow better for you. And the big thing, many of you, if you really stick to this, will begin to notice are all the blessings and all the good things that are around you all the time. But because your mind is creating a filter, you're completely blindsided to them. You don't notice them. The thoughts in your head are so loud you cannot actually see the good things that are around you because your mind becomes so one-pointed. It gets caught on one particular concept and it will just rerun it. And rerun it. And really that is just another form of torture, because many of you'll find that you're rerunning it in a very peaceful surroundings. There's nothing, you might be at home. Your home might be peaceful. You might even have nice music playing. You might have a nice meal in front of you. Good people or not. You could have the most relaxing environment around you in that now moment. And you will not see it because your mind is filtering a projection of something that most likely happened in the past or you fear will happen in the future. And in the process, you're creating more energy behind that. You're causing more stress for yourselves. And all of a sudden, you forget you're eating a beautiful meal. You don't notice the music you have playing in the background. You don't notice the nice clothes you might be wearing, or your comfortable clothes that you really enjoy wearing. You don't notice the abundance around you. You don't notice the bird song in the distance. All because you've decided to project this filter. Your lives are a lot more peaceful than you all think they are. They have their moments, but how long are you willing to carry that moment for, and then make that moment mar everything else that occurs in the future? It's time now really to become aware of your projections and your filters. Really become aware. And then come back to what actually is. Really breathe into that. And so I invite you the next month, when you find yourself getting caught in some kind of drama, you're worrying about something is playing on your mind, I want you to come back and ask yourself, where am I right now? Where am I? I am here. I am in this room. This is what is going on around me, or not going on around me. This is what I am doing. And so often you'll find that you're doing something completely unaware of the fact that you're doing it, because you are so caught up in the thoughts in your head. That isn't living. That is living through programming. That is unconscious living. And that is stressful living. And I also want to flip this around, because other people may create filters of everything is good all the time. Everything is well. I'm okay. Which essentially you are at the end of the day. But what I'm trying to bring to your attention is your filters may project negative experiences, or your filters may project positive experiences, but they aren't actually real. What are your filters? Because often people will project this idea that everything is good, happy, and wonderful, when if they were to really check in with themselves, to really come to the present moment, they would go, no, it's not okay, it's not wonderful, and I want to change it. But you cannot change that unless you bring awareness to a situation. Oftentimes, though, you'll find that when you bring awareness to your filter, it'll just naturally dissolve anyway. You won't have to do anything to make it dissolve. When you're trying to make it dissolve, you're stuck in your head again, and you're projecting. When you come to your awareness, it'll just dissolve. There's a big difference between the two. Big, big difference. So don't catch yourself going, oh no, I'm in my negative projection, I'll create a positive one. No, because that's still fantasy. That's just more mind programming that you'll have to deprogram later. So come back to your stillness so you can just rise above the whole game. And that's all it is. It's a game. I say it often, but it is. And like any sort of game you play in your human world, you can just stop playing it. Press pause. Take a moment, breathe. See things for what they are, and then turn the game off. You can exit the game whenever you choose to. The reason you don't choose to is because on some level you're getting something out of it. So what is it? Why are you all still torturing yourselves? It's easier to create and it's easier to change than what humans think it is. It's just that fear projection which makes it seem harder than what it is. So take times over the next month to just breathe. To be with yourself as you are, no judgment. Are there any questions?
Just one question. I understand what is meant by filter. I just don't quite understand what projection means.
So when you are in a situation and you've created your filter, then through that filter you project certain ideas or concepts onto what is happening. So it may not actually be what is happening, but your filter is making you create that projection. So for instance, maybe there's someone in front of you and you're projecting ideas onto them. So you're telling yourself, this person is bad, this person is terrible, this person doesn't know what they're talking. It doesn't really matter. Or you could say, this person is amazing and lovely and wonderful. You can use both sides of the spectrum. The point is, it's a mind concept.
Yeah.
So it's not actually reality, it's just your filters made you project this idea onto something. And it could be a person, a place, an idea. It doesn't really matter. But it's not reality. And that's why so many people, and I guess if you want to take the example of this person is amazing and then you put this person on a pedestal, and then all of a sudden a moment of clarity comes through and you go, wow, this person isn't what I thought they were, and I had them on this pedestal and now I'm really disappointed, and I'm disappointed in them because they're not living up to my expectations. Or you see someone and you judge them, and then later clarity comes through and you realize that no, that was just a projection on my part. You can do that on situations as well. You can do it to yourself. You're all very good at doing it to yourself. You've got all sorts of ideas about yourself that aren't true, which is probably the most hindering of all of your projections. Something that humans are very well trained in doing from birth. But shattering your own projections about yourself is also quite confronting to many. Because, and this is what is very much going on for all of you right now. You're shattering those concepts about yourself that you've held for so long, because that's how you project onto yourself, it's how you see yourself, and that's how you've been trained to see yourself, these personalities and these ways of being, and now you're going, that's not me. And so you're all breaking through that now, but that is quite confronting, because then you go, well, who am I? How do I behave? How do I act in this world? But that's okay. Just keep moving. Keep coming back to your stillness. Come to the I am. That's who you are. Are there any other questions?
Can we, with our minds, project disease into our bodies?
Yes, very much so. But I also want to, I guess, caution you here, because humans give more power to the mind than it actually has. Mind very much these days is much like an outdated computer. It does not really process the entirety of the energy and everything that is going on the planet. It just can't. It was not created that way. But if someone gets caught in a projection, then yes, they can create disease in the body. But I also ask you not to get caught up in that, because so many people go, well, if I projected this, then I can project health onto myself. It doesn't work that way. What you need to do is come back to the I am so you can just reset the whole thing. Rise above the whole idea of there being disease in the first place. You all need to stop healing yourself because you're already healed. You're already healed. But it doesn't matter how much you think that, it won't be so. It already is. The more you come back to the I am, the more you'll begin to understand that. Does that make sense? Are there any other questions?
With the Earth's frequency, when it increases, and we all increase our frequency with the Earth, is everyone on coming up to the same level, or is it all
No.
all different levels?
It's all different. It really depends on the individual and how well they are willing to change. And it's not just change on an energetic level, but it's also a cellular level as well. So if someone is a kind of person who doesn't like change, resists change, lives in their projections, is very much caught in the density of this reality, then they're struggling. That's why the world is in so much chaos at this point, because it, on an energetic level, it's almost like everything around them is screaming at them, and it's causing an intensity because the vibration and where their vibration are at odds with each other, but they do not want to shift up. And that's where the conflict arises. And there is a bit of tension at this point, because there for a long time has been an idea that the earth will rise to meet a greater vibration, and everyone spoke of there being, I guess, this new way of being on the planet where everyone is enlightened or more conscious, but at this point, in a lot of ways, the brakes have been put on that. And so I think at this point, and I do not like to project into the future because humans have a way of surprising me constantly, and every soul can choose at any given moment to make great leaps and as I've said before, rise above. But at this point there is a kind of a schism occurring, and so there's those who've decided that they won't change, and then there's those who are ascending. And this is causing conflict. But at the same time, for those who are ascending, then this means that they can move on. But that is where the energy is on the planet right now. Are there any other questions? So with that, I really want all of you, and this is your project for the month, to come back to the now, constantly. Constantly, constantly, constantly. Is what I feel or think is going on actually going on? Is the reality in my head actually the reality around me right now? I really want to invite you all to understand that there is more stillness in your lives than you allow yourselves to see. And when you understand that, you'll also begin to really feel and connect. A lot of you have been feeling disconnected. And it's only because you're living in your heads. You get out of your heads and you get into the present, then that connection will all drop in for you. But until you allow that to happen, you're going to have these roller coaster rides of I'm connected, I'm not connected, I'm connected, and that's exhausting for the human. Better to just let yourself be connected. And those are key words there, let yourself. There's nothing you have to do, there's nothing you have to fight for, there's no set formula. Just let yourself. Stop falling into that pattern of always having to work for things, that drudgery. It's very old energy. Very old energy. The vibration that you're all coming to now, you do not need to work for things. Let yourself feel peace. Let yourself have the life you want. Give yourself permission. That's the only thing that's stopping you. Don't get mental, don't get stuck in your head. Because many of you go, well, I'd like more money, I'd like a nicer house, I want a new car. They're all human projections. Get out of that too. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money's in the bank. It doesn't matter where you live, or what you drive, or what you wear. You can have all those things if you choose. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Because you're the I am, you're the all. And when you connect into that, you'll realize that all of that is irrelevant. So irrelevant. So many people measure these human things on how successful they are as an enlightened being. Which makes me laugh quite often, because they're just human ideas and human concepts. Many who become enlightened, and you can see it through the ages, they get rid of everything they own. They live quite austere lives to observers, but they did it because they realized they didn't need any of it. They were the all. Why do they need all these things? Why do they need the burden? On the flip side, others decide that no, they're going to have the experience. In my incarnation, I did. I lived a very lavish life. I created that. There's no right or wrong. The point is, it's irrelevant. When you understand it's irrelevant, then you can really free yourself. Free from all those human measurements and ideas about what success is. There's no such thing as success, you just are. So just breathe. Let yourself breathe. I say this all the time, but just leave yourselves alone. When you get there, you will all laugh at the irrelevance of it all. And how you told yourself that all these things will create your enlightenment, and that this is what will bring you peace and happiness and joy and so forth. But even the concept of happiness is irrelevant. You just are. You're that 0 point. You are eternal. And everything you need is already within you. You are perfection. Remember that. You are perfection. Thank you.